Hollywood is reacting to a weak summer box office. Another San Diego Comic-Con has come and gone. President Trump took some time out during a speech. Bosk, IG-88, Forlock, Zuckus. Hi everybody, welcome to Cautiously Poptimistic, a pop culture news comedy show. I'm your host Dave Columbo, let's have some fun. Our first story today, Oprah! That actually is kind of fun to do. Alright. Oprah Winfrey's speech at the Golden Globes stirred some buzz that she might run for president, and without a hint of irony, some in the media questioned whether or not she could win, forgetting that the current leader of the free world hosted a reality show, hawked steaks, and has taken a stone-cold stunner. You have to admit we've adjusted our standards for leadership. We've gone from, well, he can't lead, he looks weird in a tank, to, well, he didn't say he'd grab my daughter by the pussy, let's give him a shot. If nothing else, Trump proved that from now on, nobody gets to predict what politicians, actors, reality stars, land mammals, or household appliances have a chance at the presidency. Even if at the end of the next Democratic National Convention, the ticket is Paula Abdul and a container of Popeye's Blackened Ranch dipping sauce for 2020, the only reasonable response is that, stranger things have happened. But I can understand why conservatives would hate Oprah. After all, her hometown is that liberal circle jerk bubble of rural Mississippi. Not like Trump, who was born in a bushel of amber waves of grain in the heartland of America, Queens. And sure, she's a billionaire now, but she had a little help from her single teenage mother who cleaned houses for a living and raised her in poverty. Meanwhile, Trump worked his way up from a mansion in Queens to one day inheriting his father's real estate business. In this country, it's hard to look up to a self-made woman in the shadow of a man who made himself up. Though none of us should get too excited, as she said in an interview that running for president isn't in her DNA. And after Vanity Fair posted a picture of her with 3 hands, I can already hear Alex Jones yelling, "What exactly is in her DNA?" See, this is why she can't run for president. We barely convinced conservatives Obama wasn't a Kenyan Muslim anarchist. They'd look at this and assume Oprah is a lizard queen who feeds off the marrow of unborn children under the Denver airport. You get a conspiracy theory. You get a conspiracy theory. Everybody gets a conspiracy theory. Our next story, the Oscars. The Oscar nominations are out, and this year the controversy is the inclusion of nominees under investigation for various forms of assault, to which the Academy responded, well, you wanted diversity. Some are criticizing the hypocrisy of a nomination for Gary Oldman, but not James Franco, which is a comparison that out of context is hilarious. It's like talking about the contributions to baseball and saying, what, you're bringing up Babe Ruth but not the Philly fanatic? Franco is accused of sexual misconduct while Oldman is accused of domestic abuse, which I'll agree does seem to get a little more leniency in the entertainment industry. For instance, the WWE recently fired a wrestler for sexual misconduct, but still has a place on their website for a Hall of Fame wrestler who, to put it delicately, we do not know didn't murder his girlfriend. So why the double standard? Maybe older accusations are easier to dismiss? Artistic genius and personal morality does seem easier to compartmentalize when I'm reading a historical biography. Oh, he invented the first aqueduct. And took a child war bride. Wow. The first aqueduct. Maybe the reasons if we go to a zero-tolerance policy for physical abuse, you can pretty much say goodbye to every male contribution to humanity ever. Though right now we aren't really ready to have that conversation yet. If there's anything funny in all of this, it's watching men desperately try to add something to the dialogue before deleting it and tweeting, "More like Aziz, I'm sorry," and moving on. Our last story, the internet. It's a lot like whiskey. It's a great way to pass the time, only gets better with age, and gives you blanket authority to tell everyone what you really think. Lately, there's been a trend of folks criticizing movies with long-form YouTube videos complete with overdramatic titles and bold thumbnails. And I get it, clickbait headlines make everything sound more fun. This is the Superior Court of New York, and we are counting down the top 10 reasons you've lost custody of your kids. After The Last Jedi hit theaters, I must have watched a dozen videos of middle-aged fanboys nitpicking inconsistencies and plot holes and tone and just proof that the movie killed the franchise. And I can understand not liking it, but filming yourself dissecting a kid's adventure movie based on Flash Gordon serials and getting mad it's not as deep as a Kurt Vonnegut novel kinda misses the point. It's like criticizing porn. Wait, how does she know how to do that? She just said she goes to an all-girls school. One guy brought up a detail that, minor spoilers, it's never explained how the First Order is still in power after the Starkiller base is destroyed, because yeah, it's not like that happens in another movie I can mention. Boy, thank God we didn't have YouTube in 1980. Wait, Luke's Wampagash's heal in hours, yet Han Solo walks around the whole movie with his chin scar? Irving Kershner's a hack. And sure, Last Jedi wasn't a perfect film, it had pacing issues, but you know what it also had? Real stormtroopers. Remember when that was a compromise? If anything killed Star Wars, it was the movies that decided, yeah, you know what, we can add people in post. Complaining about The Last Jedi with the prequels on your shelf is like complaining about a hangnail while sitting next to Jeffrey Dahmer. These are kids' movies. Where's this level of scrutiny for everything else geared towards children? Wait, Bernstein Bears, you clearly have one working parent. Isn't it a little unrealistic that both your kids have dental insurance? Wait, primates have dichromatic vision. There's no way Curious George could tell that he's the man in the yellow hat. Why would I care where's Waldo? You never told me who's Waldo. My problem isn't they dislike the movie, it's the way they talk like they own Star Wars when the truth is they're probably lukewarm on 90% of what Star Wars is. Get it? Lukewarm? Whatever you love, you kind of have to let it go. When I say I love The Simpsons, I really only love 8 seasons of a show that's been mediocre my whole adult life, proving I have more patience for television than for my family and friends. Look at how few original ideas are coming out of Hollywood. Nothing that we care about is going to be safe. Whatever we love most is going to get a sequel by someone who at best is hazy on the source material and at worst is hazy on which way the lens goes on the camera. That's it for this month. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the show, like us on YouTube, on Facebook, check out my other web series, News to Me and Pitch and Bits. And just so you know, I'll be doing stand-up comedy Saturdays at 6 p.m. at The Stand, Saturdays at 8:30 at Climate Lounge, February 11th at 6 p.m. at Cornelia Street Cafe, and February 25th, 9:30 at Beauty Bar. That's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay cautiously optimistic.